So he said, I didn't kill myself. I just feel so weird even saying this because it goes against the narrative. So,
Well, it definitely does, but I'm pretty sure there has been at least one book written about the murder of Kurt Cobain.
so I never knew any of that. I didn't know there was this whole group of people out there pushing for this case to be reopened and reexamined. But yeah, he said very clearly, I did not kill myself. I was murdered. The way he showed it to me was, there were a lot of people involved. Three men. He was in Seattle. He was not at his house. He was staying in a motel. There were three men involved, two of whom he knew, one of whom was kind of the overseer. I feel like the more like a professional person there to kind of manage things. And they came into the motel room. Just one of them, I think, came in, and he showed me. He just kept saying they put me to sleep. So they did something to put him to sleep, either with heroin or some kind of other drug. And then this friend of his, it was someone he knew. I don't get that it was a close friend, but it was someone that he knew came into the hotel and was sort of setting up this scene where they were pretending to hang out. And like, oh yeah, hey man, whatever. And then he was put to sleep. And then this other kind of professional person, handler, manager, came and they took him out of the motel room and brought him back to his house. And he said he was put in the greenhouse because that was, they drove up the driveway, and I think that was just like the easiest kind of place to put him. It was close to the driveway, and he was pretty much unconscious. They dragged him up there, and it was out of the house. So that kind of created this plausible deniability. And then the third guy was at the house. So once they got him to the house, they brought him up to the greenhouse. The way he showed me was there was more drugs, and then they shot him. So he definitely didn't pull the trigger. He was murdered. He was put to sleep so that they could shoot him. And the whole scene was staged. And he's really, really upset that people close to him, who he thought really loved him, would believe that he killed himself. And especially in that way. He's kind of offended that he's like, I wouldn't have just stabbed a note with a pen, and he just wouldn't have done that in that way. He's like, yeah, OD'd, sure, but shot no. And he did show me one of the people involved, because I Googled, after I was shown this, I Googled, because I'm like, what is going on? And the narrative being woven is definitely one of suicide. And even the conspiracy, or not, I won't even call them conspiracy theorists. I'd say seekers of truth. The way they describe this scene as happening wasn't this. So he did show me one of the people involved, and it was, well, I found one of the people by accident. And when I saw the picture of them, I almost threw up. Like the emotions I felt were just such disgust and betrayal. And I didn't know who this person was, but it was one of the nannies that his wife at the time had hired. Was a heroin addict. Everybody involved except for the professional person were heroin addicts, so they were controlled.
It's a very sinister account. I don't know why someone or some entity would come through and tell you all this just for kicks. What do you suppose